Oh, good.
We're going chasing.
Hello, dear, and welcome to...
We're going chasing.
Hello, now, and welcome to...
We're going chasing.
Now, we have a lot on the agenda, lads, so we'll cut the chase and get straight down to the business.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the We're Going Chasing Cheltenham Countdown series. I'm joined by Craig from Readin today. Craig, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Yeah, thanks for having us on. The other guys send their apologies, so unfortunately, you've just got myself and my opinions. So hopefully that'll be good enough for you anyway for the races.
No, absolutely. And we're here today to discuss the Bartlett. And I suppose from looking at it, it does seem an open enough race. Starting at the top of the betting, you got High Class Hero, his best price sevens. Dancing City, the Nathaniel Lacy winner, is 8-1. Readin Tommy Wrong, who won the Lawlors, also 8-1. Then you got Gidley Park, Captain Teague for the UK, Shanagh Bob, all 12s. You're going down a bit further, Lecky Watson, Crow Park, My Trump Card, and 25s and bigger as the rest. Then it doesn't look the strongest race on paper, Craig, but it is definitely competitive.
It is, yeah. And I was sort of looking for it up today, obviously in preparation to speaking to you tonight. And there's a lot of contradicting form in the field. Everyone's at some point had a decent run. Everyone's had a poor run. Some of them have beat each other. And it's a bit of a minefield. Obviously, High Class Hero at the top of the betting. You can see why he's favourite. I wouldn't say it was massively convincing last time out. However, it does seem as though Willie's quite convinced that I think the better ground's going to bring out the better in him. So I think that's obviously what we're hoping for. However, with the weather at the moment, who knows what's going to happen? We could have a soft festival or softer festival than maybe what we think. Dancing City won the Nathaniel Lacy well. However, he was probably one of the only stays I think possibly in the field. I think now that we look at it again, I mean, prior to that, I actually had Predator's Gold as a quite a decent threat in this race. He didn't seem to stay at all. Dancing City obviously hit the front, Danny Mullins, and it was comfortable, I thought, even though it was only, was it a length and a half, something 2 lengths in the end?
Yeah,
I thought
it was about a length and a half, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it really was. Readin Tommy Wrong is an interesting one. Obviously, he's got the form of Il Atlantic, who seems to be quite well liked at Willys. Towards the top end, he's probably the one that you'd probably side with if I'd had to side with anybody. Gidley Park, I said it on one of our pods, so it might be that's when I jumped with the Final Flight guys. It's not for me. It's probably at the minute a bit of a hype horse over in the UK. The form, it's beat absolutely nothing, and that's not me having a go. I just think it's probably a false price. If it was probably more 25s, 33s, that'd be a bit more realistic for that horse. Captain Teague's an interesting one. He's sat there also at 12-1. Yeah, but for me, I think I read this somewhere now. I think Paul Nicholls bought this horse to be a chaser. So I think anything to do this year will probably be a massive bonus, I would imagine. Will he stay out the full trip as well? I'm not too sure. The race that he won at was it Chepstow? I think he won. Chepstow. Yeah, it looks like the ones in front were slowing down a little bit for me. So whether he's an out and out stayer, I'm not convinced. But again, there's so many horses in here where you are gambling on the improvement to come from going up in trip. There's a lot of unknown quantities. The one horse I would say at the minute at the betting, at the odds, should I say, that is of interest to me is probably now is Shanagh Bob. He's got form at the course, winning over 3 miles, which I think sometimes Cheltenham form is just completely and utterly, it's undeniable. It's such a unique course to have that form under his belt. He was also a little bit schoolboyish as well when he won. He definitely wasn't the finished article, so it's probably improvement for him to come as well. I think that was a grade 2 that he won as well over 3 miles. So it was a big improvement or a big step up from his initial debut. Probably at the betting at the minute, that's where my angle would be. Before or towards January time when we did like a bit of a mid-season tip thing on these races, Johnny Who was a big interest to me until he massively flopped last time out. Whether he can have a bit of a revival, I don't know at an even bigger price. But currently for me, Shanagh Bob's probably the one that I'd be looking at if I had to do. However, this is a race that I would even consider getting involved at this moment in time because it's just a minefield, absolute minefield.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. There's a lot of variables. I think High Class Hero is one of the weakest favourites in the week so far. Like if at the moment, I just think it's summer form there. Like I know he's a lot better horse than beating the easy fella at 2 lengths off level weights or what path, and definitely he will be better on better ground. But like I can't come away from the fact that like whether he was winning easily in Listowel and Limerick, it was just it's against weaker type horses, and I just can't see him taking the step up into a grade one now and winning that. I thought Dancing City was very good in the Nathaniel Lacy, but I just worry he's not high class enough to win a race like this. And if Readin Tommy Wrong ran here, I'd say he'd be one of my bankers of the week. Like he did so much wrong in the Lawlors, and just to still get up and beat a very, very good horse in Atlantique, and they were miles clear of another decent horse in Lecky Watson, who'd put it up to one of the favourites for the Ballymore and Slade Steel previously to that. So like I do think if he ran here, he'd be banker material really. And with the way Willie is, it's hard to, I wouldn't like to guess where he'd run his novices, but I could see Tully Hill, Mystical Power, and potentially you could see Atlantique in a Supreme, and just run Ballyburn and the Ballymore, and he'd win that. And then you can have this lad here with High Class Hero and Dancing City, and you'd probably win all 3 novice races. You'd nearly be guaranteed if you're throwing three good darts at the Supreme.
Yeah,
it's the banker at the Ballymore then, like, so.
It's a good point. I think the other thing as well, just to mention as well, is if you're considering betting on this anti-post 3 weeks away now, I can't see the favourite of this race going off any less than about 4s at this moment in time. Anyway,
absolutely not. No,
he's probably going to be 4s or higher, because there's nothing of any substance that's really going to cling on to people and going to go, right, let's jump on this.
No.
The only way that would happen is if for whatever reason Will decide to just throw 1 dart at it, or maybe even 2, but I can't see it because there's going to be so many of them now going to get spread out because of exactly what you've just said there. So
yeah,
those that are listening, for me personally as well, because of that reason alone, for the sake of 2 or 3 points, I'd just hang fire with any bets and just see what starts to go where, because I think you've probably got a better chance of getting the winner just by hanging on a couple of weeks rather than even chancing it now.
Oh, 100%. And like, even don't going down the field, like if Readin Tommy Wrong runs, he's going to be half the price of High Class Hero. Whatever that is, I don't know, but he's going to be half the price High Class Hero is. Like Gidley Park and Captain T, I'd say they'll both run in the Ballymore. They're both horses for next year. And I wouldn't imagine that. Like, it's definitely the Harry Fry horse. I don't think he needs a test like this so early in his career. But I would agree with you on Shanagh Bob. He'd be the pick of the English for me anyway. But going to my head, like if Readin Tommy Wrong runs, he will win. Make no mistake about it.
No, it's a good shout. I can't really argue with that either. I don't think, like you say, he's got the right man at the helm, to put in the right way. Let's put it that way. So.
No, absolutely. So that leaves us there for the Albert Bartlett. Look, thanks to Craig for joining on here, and we'll be back again tomorrow with the Triumph Hurdle. Be sure to like and subscribe on this video just to make sure you don't miss out on any of the other Cheltenham countdown videos we've been doing. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Cheers, guys.
It's Honeysuckle and Rachel